Hey guys and girls, I'm James and welcome to the channel. Today we are taking a look at the KFPLAN KF617 drone from Bangood for $39.97 with one battery. You can buy extra batteries. The drone comes with the optical avoidance sensor on the top. It's got 4 sensors that go around it and one on the top. It's got a 4K camera with a motorized gimbal. It's got brushed motors, cool lights, comes with a really nice remote that holds your phone. It actually comes in a really nice case that you can carry around. I know what you're already thinking, man, for $40, why should I buy the Mini 3 Pro when I can get this for $40? Well, usually if it's too good to be true, it is. And if you've never bought from Bangood, guys, Bangood has some really banging good deals out there. Kind of like that Flyhaul FX1 I bought the other day. That's a $400 drone. I did a review on it. I got it for $135. Because Bangood has these clearance specials that are just fantastic sometimes. And if you want, you can email me to be on my email list. Email me at jamesb-4ugo.com and I'll send an email out about once a month if I see some of those really good deals. So is this a really good deal? How does it fly? Does the camera work? Let's go put her up in the air. I'll show you how she flies. Then we'll come back in. I'll show you how to use the app to get the Wi-Fi to work, because this is a Wi-Fi drone. You got to hook it up to your device to get the camera to work, but you can fly it without it. But if you want to access all the functions of the drone, you got to use the app through your Wi-Fi of your device. Then we'll sit down. I'll give you my final review, because guys, there's a lot of competition out there at this price point, but there's not a lot of drones out there that do all these things. But if it doesn't do any of them really good, then is it really worth it? If they'd have sold this drone 10 years ago at this price point with all these features, they would have sold millions of them. But there's a lot of competition out there. So let's go put her up in the air. Pretty good. Wait, let me see if it'll run. Sometimes it's not. So let me see if it'll run into me. Yeah. Alright guys, I've probably reviewed 50 or 60 of these beginner budget drones now, and some of them blow me away by how much power they have. This isn't one of them. I mean, the power, it's marginally okay, but if there's even a little bit of wind, it's going to carry it away, even in speed 3. But the reverse of that is it does fly for quite a while. It's got a pretty good sized battery in it for a beginner drone. It got about 12, 13 minutes outside. One thing too, it's probably 104 outside. So the obstacle avoidance with the bright lights and the heat didn't seem to work very well outside. It worked really good inside. It really did, but only straight on, straight back into the side. And doesn't kind of work good at an angle because it's using some kind of sonar light. But see, it's almost running into me here. I'm trying to figure out exactly how good it's going to work. You know, but for $40, you can't expect it to work like a professional drone. It's just really, it's almost more fun just to play with and try to see what the limits are. So if you're a beginner and you're brand new, don't try doing this in the very beginning. Matter of fact, just fly around really slow and low until you get used to the orientation of the drone. When it's facing you, everything's backwards. So try to learn with it facing away from you. And don't just fly it around. Try to have some kind of an agenda. Do figure eights. Have it circle you facing towards you. Have it circle you facing away from you. Because if you just go out there and you're randomly just flying it around, it'll kind of get boring. But the more you have an agenda and you start practicing, you'll be really surprised how fast your skill set improves. And pretty soon you'll just be flying it with your subconscious and you won't even be thinking about the controls. So much better to start with a drone like this than to go out and get an expensive one and to try to get all the different features out on it. But if you look at that pond, there's no wind. I flew it the other day. I didn't do a video, but it was kind of windy and I couldn't make a video because I had to land it because it kept wanting to blow away, even with just a little bit of wind. So as you can see, there's a lot of jello in the camera, which means that's that real haziness shaking back and forth. It takes pretty decent photos, but the camera, it's almost worthless if you're trying to get some kind of video, but this is really good practice. Again, this drone's $40, so you can't expect it to be perfect. But there is a couple of $40 drones out there that actually have pretty decent cameras, and they say they're 1080p, where it says this one's 4K. I wouldn't think this one's even close to 4K. So let's take it inside and then we'll test it. Here we go. See, so here's some video I took on the inside. The jello's pretty much gone. The shakiness is still there with the camera, but the jello's gone. So I think that had a lot to do with the temperature. And then here's some pictures I took on the inside. The color saturation is pretty good. It's a little oversaturated outside, but the blues are blue. It's not too bad for a budget drone. I'm kind of impressed with the pictures. I've seen better though. Like I said, that HS430 takes really good pictures from Holystone. So the obstacle avoidance definitely worked better. I'm sitting there trying to make it run into myself sideways. It won't. You see how the lights blink really fast when the obstacle avoidance is working? That's kind of cool. Kind of lets you know it's doing its job. I don't have the prop guards on it. If you're flying indoors and you're a beginner, I would definitely put the prop guards on. They are brushed motors, so if they get into a bind, it'll either burn the motor up or it'll strip little gears in there. One thing I can say about the drone, it holds its position very well. I didn't see an optical flow sensor on the back, but it definitely has some kind of sensor inside of it where it holds its position. I'd never had to mess with the trim, so it didn't seem to be drifting left or right. So that's probably the best thing I can say about this drone. As you can see, it really holds its position very well. I've had some budget drones that just kind of drift all around and you're constantly having to fight them. Or if you look at this one's pretty rock solid. All right, so let's sit down and go over the functions of the drone, the remote, and the app, and then we'll head back in for our final review.
Light too hot outside. See, I'm trying to push it sideways. Look, it won't go into it, but it'll go left. See it? Let's try backwards. No.
All right, well, let's see what he weighs in at. He weighs in at 169 grams. You know, like compared to like the DJI Mini 3 Pro is, 257. Oh, that's with the gimbal guard on it. So how much is really 169 grams? Well, 169 grams is about the same weight as a medium banana. Did you know that you're not supposed to peel a banana from this end? Monkeys peel it from this end. So you're supposed to grab it and peel it like this. And then also you can take this little ugly thing off. Well, this one's kind of bad. So it comes in this box, and of course in the front it says obstacle avoidance, but I flip it over and it says this drone is not equipped with obstacle avoidance. I don't understand. So kind of like the instructions are all. So inside this box, it comes with a pretty nice case. You get extra props. Make sure they are labeled A and B. If you replace them, you get the angle of attack. It comes with prop guards, a handy dandy screwdriver, because if you got to change these props, you pull this little silver thing off, and that's how you replace it. Don't over tighten these. These drones all strip out really easy. The drone folds up really nice, along with the remote. It's a pretty good feeling remote. This pops up for your phone. So on the drone, this is the obstacle avoidance. It's got it on, there is a sensor on the top, and then there's one on each four. As I showed you when I was flying it, it seemed to work good straight forward, backwards, and to the side. When you kind of come in the angle, it wasn't working so good. And the lights are blinking when it's working. I showed you how the camera goes up and down. And then on the bottom, you slide this little thing different. Battery, it's a 1200 milliwatt amp battery. That's hard to believe. That's a lot of power for the weight that it has. I think I got up 12 minutes of flight time with it, and you recharge it right here. Of course, it says to use the charger that it comes with, and I have the charger over there on the wall. So you got to put it in this way first, and then slide it down, and it snaps in. And that's about it on the drone. These are brushless motors. I really like the lights. They're really nice. I mean, for $40, it offers a lot, and it does a lot. It just doesn't do any of them really well. I'd rather have less options and have a better camera or stronger motors, because these motors didn't really fight the wind very good at all, even in high speed. It's just such a big drone. It's actually bigger than the Mini 3, so it's a pretty good sized drone. And being big, and light, it's going to catch the wind. So brushless motors are two magnets spinning inside of each other, and if they get into a bind, they're not going to burn up. But in here, if these get in a bind, not only may it burn up the motor, there's a gear inside here that turns this motor. So on the remote, you turn it on right here, and when you turn the drone on, it is connected, but it's not calibrated. So you need to calibrate the gyro on it. So what you do is you set it on a flat surface and you just touch this button and it'll blink again. And then all you have to do is, if you can either push up on this and it'll come off, or you can hit the takeoff button. And this is also your land button. This is also your headless mode. Don't ever use that. And over here, you press this once to take a picture, or press it longer to take a video. And this moves the camera up and down. Kind of does it in sequence. This is your speed button, 1, 2, 3. You can also see it on the app, and it beeps at you. 1, speed 1, speed 2, speed 3. This is your flip button. I wouldn't flip this drone. And if it seems to be flying away from you, if you hold down on this button, it'll stop and fall out of the sky. So on the instructions, man, the English is really bad on it. And we could go through here and have a big laugh, but I'm not going to do that at their expenses. But it does break down everything to you. Like it shows you, like on the remote, it tells you this is how you turn on the obstacle avoidance and turn it off. Hold down on it long, that's your trim button. There is no compass calibration because it's not a GPS drone. So the QR code is not in this. It comes with this. The QR code comes on this separate piece of paper and it shows you how to use the app. So you open your camera, you go to your app store, you download the app. It's this Wi-Fi UAV. Then you can open up the app, but it's not going to work because it's a Wi-Fi drone, so it's not going to turn on. So what you do is you turn on the drone, go back to your settings. And you may want to make a pre-start checklist. I mean, that's one good thing about getting a beginner drone. You go to your settings, go to your Wi-Fi. Here it's flow 4K. You hit that, you wait for it to check. Now when you go back to the app, your camera's working. So up here is where you can take a picture. Oops, nope, I'm sorry. That takes you to the bottom camera. I don't know why you didn't. I never use the bottom camera. I wish they would rather just have one better camera than having a bottom camera. That's your bottom camera, that's your front camera. Here's your speed, 60, 30, 60, 100. This opens up. I wouldn't use any of these. Also, it says follow me. It's not going to follow you. Don't mess with that. Just use it to do your speed, your pictures, and it'll start a video, and there's your timer. Man, it works a lot better in here than it was outside. You saw how bad the jello was when it was moving around. It may have something to do with how hot it was. And then you go back and look at your gallery. So I have 2 videos from now. Of course, it didn't record the ones from yesterday because that was on my phone. And then there's the... Oh, it did. It saved them into my photos. All right, guys. So that's it on the drone. Let's go back for our final review. Guys, thanks so much for watching my review of this KPLAN KF617 drone. What do I think about it? Well, I think it does a whole lot of things, but it just doesn't do any of them really good. The camera, you saw it. I mean, it kind of takes okay pictures. The video is almost kind of worthless. The motors are kind of weak, and it's a big light drone. If you look, I mean, it's even bigger than like the DJI Mini 2. It's quite a bit larger. And with being lightweight and having a lot of surface area, if there's a lot of wind, it's going to try to carry it away. And without having real powerful motors to fight it, because there's some really fast little drones like this that I've reviewed in the past. I mean, they got a lot of power to them. It does have pretty good flight time. I think I got 12 minutes out of it, which is unusual for these budget beginner drones. But if you look, this is a pretty big battery that goes in this mid-sized drone. I do like the camera gimbal. I don't like it when they put a camera on the bottom. I don't know if I'd ever even use it. I do like the lights. The lights are cool. I like that they blink at you when the obstacle avoidance is working. So as you saw when I was flying it, the obstacle avoidance works really good, front, back, and the side. But when you come at it from an angle, it doesn't seem to work that good. It's just something fun to play around with. If you're looking for a fun $40 toy, this is a good drone. If you're looking to get a serious drone to learn on, this one has a little bit too much latency. What that means is it takes too long to turn around and come back at you. But if you're looking for something to really learn on, guys, I love the Holystone HS430 right now. It's got a really good camera on it. If you're wanting to fly indoors, I would learn to fly with the Micro Mini drone that's got covered props like the Sandrock U61 or this Holystone 210, because Bangood's, they send me these drones to review, but they don't have any input. If you bought this one and you just watch this review to see how to fly it, well, congratulations on starting with one of these budget beginner drones. So many people, they go out and they buy an expensive drone and they come home with something like this. So it's much better to learn the orientation of a drone, how a drone functions, to make your pre-start checklist, and just get in the habit of flying a drone and how it works, and especially the orientation of it on the controls before you put a more expensive drone in the air. So guys, if you got something out of this, like always, please like and subscribe. Subscribers mean everything to me on this channel, and I'll see you in the next one.